Hey guys, we're going to get started in just a minute. Let's see. There we go. You're almost in the camera. Okay, thanks for joining us tonight. I know it's kind of crazy times for everybody. The West Coast, it's dinner time and it's like 2 something in the morning for other people. So I know you guys can catch the replay. All of the things, all of the videos, all of the webinars. Oh, you know what? Let me real quick. I might lose you guys for a second. I'm going to make sure I'm connected to the hardwire. That'll be more smooth. We still good? You can hear us okay? Looks like we're good still. Okay, all of the webinars, all the lives that we do, everything is recorded. It's automatically available in the Facebook group immediately after we're finished for replay. So if you're not able to join us, if you have to get off in like 10 minutes or whatever, you're good. You can watch it later. We just wanted to get on and do a little bit more of a rabbit trail. I wanted Halle on. It's always more fun to have somebody else involved here and to be kind of interactive. So we don't have really we have a little bit of an idea of where we want to start, but we don't really have a clue where we're going to end up tonight. I wanted to do a quick review and answer any questions that you have going through the process. So if you guys can just let me know if you can hear everything okay, you know, how are we doing? I'm going to get some things ready on my screen. And we will jump over onto Amazon. Maybe I should have kept that open. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I wanted to really quick, okay, thank you for the feedback. Yay, you can hear. That's always good, right? Who knows with all the internet stuff we've had going on. Looks like things are kind of smoothing out right now. So I wanted to, give me 1 second, I'm trying to multitask. I wanted to do a little quick review, okay, before we dig in and to kind of set us up for tonight. So what I wanted to talk about really quick was we're going to be doing over the shoulder. We did this a little bit in the first webinar I did, where we get on Amazon and we start validating keywords, right? So here's a little quiz. There's 4 things that we're looking to do when where do we start? What's the first thing that we want to do when we're looking to get a book up on KDP? Okay, actually there's 5 things, right? So what's the first thing?
Well, the first thing, you want to sign up for your KDP account.
That's number 1. Okay, so we get that out of the way. Hopefully you guys have your KDP account set up. If not, you're okay. Just keep moving towards that. It shouldn't take any time for approval. Sometimes the banking can hold things up a little bit, but I think you can still get books, start working on books while you're waiting for that to be approved. So there we go. Amazon search bar, that's exactly it. So we get your KDP account. Then for research, we want to find keywords, right? So even if you have a book that you want to write about, you have an idea, maybe you've already started something. It could be a novel. It could be about something that you're just passionate about that's nonfiction. You still want to find keywords. You want to put yourself in the customer's shoes and go, okay, how would they, if I was looking for a book like this, how would I search for it on Amazon? That's a really good place to start. Get in that search bar, start typing in some words and see what Amazon starts suggesting, okay? And then you want to validate those key phrases further. What are the next 3 steps? Okay, we got our KDP account set up. We have looked for something that Amazon suggests. And by the way, I did post, some of you posted as well, I appreciate it, but I made a post for I always forget what it's called, the Amazon Expander Suggestion Expander, Amazon Suggestion Expander Chrome extension. It's a tongue twister, well, I'll show you that again, but that link is in there so that you can get some easier feedback from Amazon. So once we've found a keyword that Amazon has suggested from their search bar, what do we do next? What did we do next? I know there's a little bit, there we go, a little bit of delay. Awesome. We look at the results. Okay. We look at the rank and we look at reviews. Okay. Results, we want to see less than 3,000 results. That tells us that it's not too competitive. That number, if the smaller that number is, the less competitive it is. However, we need to balance that out with our demand, right? So that's when we go and we look at rank. And our rank, we want to see that the average sales rank is less than 1 million. That tells us that there's enough demand for it. And then reviews is just another confirmation for competition. And for reviews, okay, let me back up. For rank, we want to make sure that it's the average sales rank is less than 1 million. And then for reviews, we want to see 3 or 4 that have less than 50 reviews. Okay, so you should have that written down somewhere. If not, write it down right now. And we're going to be doing this live. Really not sure where we're going to end up. So I wanted to talk about a few ideas that I had. Okay, that might be a little bit more advanced, just different ways to look at this. So again, I'll just say, if you haven't written this down yet, we're going to start with the Amazon search bar. You're going to look at the number of results. You want to see less than 3,000 results. Then you're going to run a tool. Jungle Scout's very easy. Scope is another one. We had a bit of a discussion about this on the first webinar. You want to run a tool to tell you what the average sales rank is. You want to see that to be less than 1 million. And then you want to see in reviews, those first 10 listings that come up, 3 or 4 of them with less than 50 reviews. Okay, so on your paper, you should have Amazon search bar. Can you tell I'm a homeschool teacher? Amazon search bar, 1, 2, 3. Number 1, results. Number 2, rank. Number 3, reviews. Okay, next to results, you can put less than 3,000. Next to rank, put less than 1 million. Next to reviews, put 3 or 4 in the first 10, less than 50 reviews. All right, I want to ingrain that in you. That's why I keep repeating it, because I know the more you hear it, the more it'll stick. Write it down, that'll help, and then you're going to watch us do this live. Okay, we good? Ready? Okay, should we start at Barnes & Noble? Do you want to do that, or do you want to start?
Let's
okay.
start at Barnes & Noble.
Okay, so we're going to take a little virtual field trip. Let me share my screen. Perfect. Okay. Sometimes, actually, let me, really? I don't want to sign in. How do I do this without signing in? Let me close it. I signed out. Sometimes we need just a little bit extra inspiration, right? And so I like going, seriously, it didn't sign me out. That's funny. I like going to bookstores for that, okay? And we're kind of talking about, we had a meeting with Ellie, she might be on, I'm not sure, and Halle and I today talking about, you know, hey, we really should go to a bookstore and do a Facebook Live from there, do some sort of video. For some reason, that puts us all out of our comfort zone to do that out in a public space like that. So we'll see if we can get out of our, maybe if there's enough people that really cheer us on, we'll have the courage to do that. But it's seriously, I said it before, get to a bookstore and you will see ideas that you never saw before. One of the things that we do in the other Facebook group that you're going to be invited to at the end of our time together is I like to post inspiration ideas, things that I've found. And it's not hard to find them, that are just ways to think differently about how you can use KDP. Showed you a little bit this morning with the gratitude journal and showing you those interior pages, right? It doesn't have to all be lines. There can be some sort of prompting, but you can repeat those prompt pages throughout as well. So since we can't and we aren't going to go to Barnes & Noble or up in the Portland area, the big bookstore here is Powell's. Since we're not going to actually go there, the next best thing is to go online. Okay, and you could do this on Amazon too, but I like the way that Barnes & Noble is organized. So if you go to barnesandnoble.com, we're going to start here looking for some inspiration. And the kinds of books I like to look for, unless you're looking to write a book, you're going to look for something that's nonfiction. So at barnesandnoble.com, you go to books. Help me out here. I didn't do this before. It was all Seymour. No, that's history. Subjects. Okay, sorry. I couldn't. I thought there was a all. Underneath subjects, you're going to go to Seymour. There's an all coming, I think. And then get down to nonfiction here. And these are the categories that I like to kind of poke around in, okay? So you could go to, if you go to activity and game books, you're probably gonna see things like coloring books or crossword puzzles. There's so many ideas here. We could go there. I haven't done this yet. Maze books. What you do, click on one of those subjects under nonfiction, and then I like to scroll if I can. Look at the bestsellers, okay? Now I'm looking for inspiration. I'm not looking to copy. I'm looking for inspiration. So we could go through this and look for some ideas. You could click on See All, look for some ideas. These would have some sort of content inside of them. Okay, they're not necessarily journals.
Just search journal.
Just search journal, that's what I could do. Okay, so you could go to any of these cookbooks. We can talk a little bit more about that later when we get to the interior pages and we're talking about content, which I think is on Friday. So go to those bestsellers. Now, just because they're bestsellers on Barnes & Noble doesn't mean that they're bestsellers on Amazon, and that's our marketplace. So you're still gonna wanna validate. So we're just looking for inspiration. Halle had a great idea. Let's go up here and let's type in journals, since that's what we're doing here. Journal. I'm gonna do in all departments.
Or shop journals.
Or shop journals. I'm gonna do this one. You know what? Do you wanna get the books? Can you grab the rest of the books out of there and we'll just put them here and then we can show them what the books look like. I had said I would do that. Okay, so what are the best-selling journals on Barnes & Noble? So I'm gonna go to See All. And I'm looking for inspiration, places to start on Amazon, okay? So let's just poke through here a little bit. So this is like a planner, weekly planner, Sierra Club engagement, vintage floral, okay? Those are things we could check into. Let's do this one, this elephant, okay? So elephant, baby and mama, extra large spiral planner. Now I'm not looking to do a planner, I'm looking to do a journal, but this elephant idea, I think animals are pretty popular. Elephants, what are some other popular? Sloths.
Foxes.
Foxes and owl. But we want Amazon to tell us. We can kind of guess. Pandas, that was another one, yep. Let's do that. Let's go with animals. So elephant, if I start typing that in, there's elephant stuff. Okay, so it's starting to suggest things. Put a space. I'm just kind of giving Amazon a little bit more information as I go through. If I type in a J, what do I get? So journal does come up, elephant journal. So let's start there. And remember our 3 R's. The first one, we want to see that there's less than 3,000 results. So we're good there. Then we want to look at our average rank and the number of reviews, okay? You can scroll down. Now I will and see what's in here. See if, are these all elephant journals? What are they? That's coming up. That's definitely not an elephant journal. That's a panda. But you can get some ideas. I kind of like this idea of a little icon just in the middle. Now, obviously this one has a bookmark and isn't something, you couldn't produce something just like this on KDP, but that doesn't matter. We're looking at the keywords and we're going to match our book to that keyword. And the keyword has nothing to do with leather or that there's a bookmark on it or anything like that. So embossed, it doesn't matter. Our key phrase, elephant journal, we can get a KDP book that matches that key phrase, right? Okay. So here's the thing some of you guys have asked, if I was to type this in, and what if they were all panda journals that came up? Because there was one that came up here, it's sponsored. But what if there weren't any elephant journals that came up? 2 things that could mean. One, it could mean that this is a really cool opportunity, that people are searching for elephant journal, but what they're getting in the results, what Amazon is bringing in to fill it for that search doesn't match. So you put a real elephant journal in there, you might get all the sales, right? If there's really the search volume for that. So there could be an opportunity for what we call a golden gap. And what I love about the idea with KDP is it doesn't include there's no costs to test that, okay? You don't have to buy some inventory and test it. You can put a book up that doesn't cost you anything. I like this little icon over here in the corner too. So the other thing though, it might also mean that there really isn't enough demand. It's hard we can run the Jungle Scout. If none of these were actually journals, we could run Jungle Scout, but it wouldn't be super accurate to the demand to give us the rest of the R's. If we go through the 3 R's, it wouldn't be very accurate because the sales are on different types of products. So you're kind of, you could have a good opportunity or it could be totally flat. It's hard to know. Because it costs nothing for inventory, if no results came up that matched the keywords, I would put a book up. I think that there's a good chance that it could be a golden gap, and the risk is so low because all you're doing is putting a little bit of time in to get something posted there. Okay, Missy, do we have page size parameters? So when we get into the interior pages, we'll talk a little bit more about that. So one of the things you could do with KDP, there's no variations. So you could put, my guess is this one. These two are probably both KDP books. We can look and find out. I think this one is. You could do, these are 6x9. You could do the exact same cover, the same interior, and do an 8.5 by 11 and have them both be up and posted at the same time. Test it. KDP offers, they have custom now too. Right? No, you can't copy this one exactly. But what I'm saying is you can put up the same book in different sizes and they would all be different listings that you would have up. And you might see that certain sizes are appealing to people in different markets in different ways. You've already done the work to come up with a cover design and everything. You just need to change the sizing. But each one would be its own listing. Does that answer your question? Oh, when we go into the next tab on Friday inside KDP, there's a whole slew of parameters, page sizes that you can choose from. And you can do a custom sizes too. I'm not sure, I haven't done that. I'm not sure how the pricing works on that, but they also say they have a list of like 5 or 6 that are the most common trim sizes. And so it gives you a little bit of information there. All right, so I wanted to write this down for you guys. Elephant Journal passed. Oh, did we not get that far? I'm pretty sure it did. It passed the first star. Let's see if it passes the others. Watch it not pass. Make it passed. Okay. It looks like it's going to pass. Most of these are under 1 million. In fact, all of them are. Look at that. So 207,000 is the average sales rank, well under 1 million. And we're looking at reviews. We want to see 3 or 4 with less than 50. And we see 8. So Elephant Journal passes. I'll write that down and we'll post that. Okay, there were some other animals. Clearly panda is like a thing. So if I start typing in panda planner, that might be a brand. Some other things are funny. Okay, so panda, if I type a J, I get panda journal. There was also panda journal for girls. But this one looks good. So less than 3,000 results. We're good there. Let's see if it passes the other 2. Koala, that's a good one, Wendy. We can try that too. You can have a whole, your author name could be something that relates to animals. So not that your author name doesn't really give you any keywords, but if you wanted to do a pen name and you could have a whole brand, basically, your author name can kind of become your brand name in a way. Okay, so this works too. So we've got less than 1 million in rank, that's good. And we have 6 out of 10 that have less than 50 reviews. Oh my word, look at this. That's that elephant one. That's funny that the elephant one comes up on the panda.
Okay.
But they're doing, I don't know how accurate this is, but $180,000 a month in revenue for that. I mean, remember, these don't cost you anything. This one might be a KDP. I love Panda journal. That's a fun theme. Like I love, and you could do a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Okay, the pass fail. So this up here, our friend John Paul, this layer up here, see the orange is a part of Jungle Scout. The gray on those first 10 and the green highlighted and this green layer up on top with Ryan Rieger's face, that is something that our friend John Paul Jones has developed. And this is looking at parameters we teach for private label. Similar to what we're doing for KDP, because private label is about having your own listing and your own brand, and that's kind of what you're doing with a book, right? But because it's a book, our criteria is a little bit different. So this here is looking at different parameters for the private label. So sometimes this might say fail, because, or we're just looking at different parameters. It might say pass, but the average rank actually is over 1 million, so it doesn't pass the KDP 3Rs. So I can share this with you, but know that it's for private label. It's and how we teach private label. We have a 5-step test, and this helps validate for that. It doesn't necessarily apply to what we're doing for KDP. However, I'll put that in the comments for you. It's a Chrome extension. It's not free. It's like $17 or something. Let me put that in there. Private label the easy way / pass fail. Okay. Just know that relates to private label. Okay, so don't just go with this pass. Look at the sales rank and look at the reviews. The only thing that is the same with private label is the reviews. It's discounted for our buddies. John Paul Jones made it, and so we can't offer it for free, but it is, right now it's available for, I think it's $17. It's a one-time fee, and it sits on top of both Jungle Scout. It doesn't work on its own. It doesn't work by itself. It sits on top of Jungle Scout or Scope, the same extension. You pay for it once and you have it in both places. And someone had asked, this is the light version of Jungle Scout, okay? All right. Panda, so Panda Journal. This is interesting that these really simple key phrases are passing.
Let's try Koala Journal.
Koala. Koala. Just seeing if it comes up at this level. Koala Journal. Koala Jellycat? What was that? Okay. 560 results. It passes that first R. Woohoo! Okay. Now this has a glittery stuff. These are not done on KDP. You can't really do texture or metallic yet. What?
Unless you upload an image that looks like that, but it won't have the texture. It'll just look like it has the texture.
That's true. If you have a high quality image that looks metallic, but the color, the ink is not metallic itself, so it won't have that sheen, right?
Yeah.
This one though might be, like these could be KDP. Let's see if this passes. 560. I'm not seeing a lot of sales reviews, so I'm not sure if it's going to pass or not. But there's one way to find out. I don't know. Okay, yep. So this one has almost a 2 million rank. So that means it's not going to sell. There's not enough demand. The lower the rank, the more demand. We're using that as our gauge for demand. So you can read the questions out if you want instead of. So Koala Journal is, there's just not enough demand. What I would usually do is go, okay, is there anything we can do here to pull back and make it less descriptive to try to get more demand in a larger audience, but you really can't do that with Koala Journal. Okay, Kent, you're asking, so is panda and elephant, etc., just for the name? Who has an elephant? I'm not sure what you're asking, but really it's the description of the cover, okay? So we're just looking at, it's got elephants on the cover. We can look at some of the interiors. Let's find one that passes again, or let's go back to panda and see what the interior, the elephant one. Select this one. Well, that one has a, shark, whale, llamas, awesome.
I have been wanting to do whale.
Yeah, you were talking about that today. Or was it dolphin?
There's whale.
Orca. This is a create space, so it's KDP. Let's see what the inside looks like. I bet you it's just lines. What was the cost on the one that we did today with Ellie? Do you remember what the price was? That was the proof. The proof was $2.15. And it was a 6x9 100-page lined journal. Okay, I love panda. How cute. Okay, lines with a panda. Another panda. That's funny. So that, it's just this, oh no. So they probably have a set of like 5 panda images, and then they just created 5 pages and copied that. Okay, but usually it can just be the outside. It can just refer to the cover, the theme of the journal. A lot of people buy them just for that and then don't ever write in them. Go figure. Kelly's like, yeah, that's what we do. Okay. Yeah, the Chrome extension I'm using is light. Want to check that phrase, I love panda, might be copied. Yeah. There are some phrases that, and this is where it gets kind of gray, that you just can't copyright. And I'm not sure if I love panda is one that you can. So do a little bit of research. The pages, okay, yeah, however you want to do these journals, okay? So the minimum number you need is 24 pages. You can only have 4 that are completely blank. And that is not front and back, that's one side, all right, as far as I understand. So you could do, in fact, why don't we move into this? You could do something that's like a 90-day journal. Okay, so then there's probably 90 pages, right? You could do, what we're doing is 100 pages in the templates that we're giving you, but you can add pages or take some away. The requirement is you have to have at least 24. Okay, I'm not sure what the price point is on this. That's what I was trying to figure out. So remember, this costs you nothing. You do all the work up front. Once it's up, you never, ever, ever have to create this journal again. You do not have to go find this journal somewhere to replenish it. You don't have to create a listing again. You don't have to do anything again, okay? So the price on this, I'm not sure. I know we did, and this is 8.5 by 11, so it's actually larger. We did today we did a 6x9 100-page journal, and the proof cost $2.15. That's usually lower than the actual, oh wait, didn't it say when we went to set the price, it was like $3.58 or something.
That's the lowest you can have.
Right. Okay. It just depends. There's a lot of things that it depends on, but now that I'm going by memory, so be a little gracious with that, but I think it was like $3.58 was the price. It was the lowest price. Amazon will say, this is how much you have to, the minimum price you can sell it for. So you just set your price higher than that. So if it was $3.58 and they're selling it for $6, they're making, maybe $2.50, $2.10 a book. Okay. That's a low price. $5.99 I think is a low price for this. And your audience, not all, you're going to be able to play with the price point a little bit, and different audiences will pay more for journals. It depends on what you have inside and all of that. But remember, you never, ever, ever have to do this again. You get this journal up and it's up. You don't have to replenish or anything. ever. So initially the first month or the first week or whatever, you know, maybe you won't make very many sales, but over time that will increase and you never have to put more effort into it. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, 215, that's what we have too for the 6x9 for 100 pages. That is that the author cost? But you don't have to buy any for it to go live. If you're bundling it with something, then you're going to need to buy them so that you can include them with your bundle. But to have it be live on Amazon and to sell them, you don't have to buy any. You don't. The $2.15, what I saw was the proof price. Okay, I want to take a break from the screen share. I see it, and I'm going to show you some books. Just so you guys, because I know you're eager to move on to what are these books, what are they going to look like? Okay, so this one was the first thing you ever did, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so here's a 6x9 glossy. You can see the gloss on it. I like the glossy book that Halle did. This was the first journal. You were what, 12 or 13? Yeah. Okay, and the inside is it's just a watermark. Okay, that's all that's in it.
It's not even in color.
Nope.
It's just black and white.
Just a grayscale watermark. It's got some doodles on the back. Nothing really on the back, but okay. Glossy, I like the glossy a lot. This was the Aquarium Setup and Care the Easy Way book by Algie B. Gone. Okay, I don't think this one was ever published. We used it as a, yeah, so when you get a proof, it has this in the back. We used this as a example and a proof prop for CES a couple years ago. But when we get to interior pages, I didn't write any of this. I'll tell you how I got it, the interior, okay? But the pages, they're thick, they're nice. There's a little bit of ghosting, but not much. So that's those two. And then this is what the mat looks like. I don't know if you can tell, it's a little bit gummy to me. I don't like that feeling.
Not all of them are though.
I think they're all gummy. So this is a little bit larger. I don't know what size it is. This is the 6x9. This one's a little bit larger. I'll do that. This one was my example I was using about doing springform pans, and we just went through and we found recipes for springform pans and put them all in this book. Okay. To bundle. This is a smaller one. This one only has, now this is a glossy and this is a matte. I liked the glossy better. This was a devotional that I wrote a couple years ago, longer than that. And this is what I want to show you how to do the cover on for Photoshop, maybe a little bit later. I got this off of freeimages.com, the image. I edited it and then I put the name and title and everything on it on Photoshop. Then the back is from the KDP. It was CreateSpace, but it's their template. So I just put a front part to the cover. It's too thin to have anything on the spine. I think this has 70 something pages. It's just 12-day devotional. Nope, it doesn't even have that many. It's got 43 pages. I don't know if you can see that. But the pages, these are cream pages on this one. Some of them are white. Doesn't matter what you choose. You get an automatic cover that's color. Like I said, I don't have color interior pages. Okay, so then here's another thing. We did this. This is a messy journal. Again, this one did not get published, but with our homeschool co-op, we did a couple years ago, I taught a class, and together we were doing this whole process of what kind of book can we do that's not something we have to write, a no content, low content book that we can do as a group. And so we brainstormed, what did we have? We had like 100. 100, you think? It was well over 50. Halle says 100, so I'm really bad at numbers like that, of ideas, just ideas from like a 40-minute brainstorm session with 15 teens. So that's probably why we came up with so many ideas, because they're crazy creative. But and we came up with this idea, ended up doing, it was a messy journal. Okay, it says instruction for destruction. Okay. And so inside we just came up, everybody put, this one must be used. Everybody put did some sort of Okay.
Here's another one.
This one's used.
This one's clean.
Okay, well, it's okay. Everybody did a page. So here's one, and it says, draw, what does it say? Draw in sunscreen and take me sunbathing. So you can see kind of the mess on that one. So they were just silly things. Bubbles are fun. Add some bubbles to this page, okay? One of them was somebody made a super villain. This is your new singing companion. Bring this into the shower with you, okay? Just kind of silly, funny things. And so we did that. And then another idea here was, this was based on keywords, an inventory logbook. Now you might think, you might track all your inventory online or on have digital copies. There are lots of people who need the paper. They still need to, I know I'm kind of like split. You just got a planner that's like you write down. Mm-hmm. Some people need that. They can't just do the digital. I'm kind of split on that. So just because you might not use it, don't think there's not a market for it. So the inventory logbook, and this is a basic template for a cover design. This is a matte finish. Look at the interior. And if you're familiar at all, can you guys see that? If you're familiar at all with Word and word processing, this is a table. Okay, it's the same page on everything. So this one I started selling, I think it's still up there. It's after a week I got some sales on that. Okay, what did you want to do?
So someone asked how many of the flower journals have sold. This was like the very first journal I ever made. Did you actually publish it? I did publish it, but I didn't add any keywords or key phrases because it was like I was figuring out how to create space in KDP. Yeah, I tore out all my drawings. Yeah, so it hasn't, I don't think I've actually sold any because I haven't added any key phrases or anything to it. So
that was before. That was her first.
Yeah, that was before all that.
So that was her book when she's like, Mom, can you show me how to do Create Space, which is what KDP used to be. I had just put up my devotional. I had an ebook version on the Kindle, but I wanted a hard copy. I was working on that. She's like, can you help me? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, forget it. I'm not going to wait for you anymore. I'm just going to figure it out. And that was what she came up with. So here's another book that I have. This is up, and Jim Cockrum did the forward on. So, and again, the pages are just, you can have the font be however you want. You set up the pages however you want, but they're real books. They're real looking books. I don't know what else to say about that. You cannot tell that from another book, really. I mean, not really. I mean, sometimes we can look at things just because we know, but mostly it's because people aren't putting a whole lot of effort into the design. And we're like, oh, that's somebody who doesn't really care. So it must be a Create Space or a KDP book. That's hard to say. But, sorry, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But let's go back to the screen share. Why wouldn't you unpublish it? She could do that. She could unpublish the book and redo it with keywords. That's probably on your to-do list. Because I even think your high five book, do you have that?
No, I gave it away at a White Elephant exchange.
So she wrote a book. It's 101 Reasons to Give a High Five. And it's this size. What? Oh, I could find it. Yeah. I don't even know if you have any reviews.
Words, but
that's another one you don't have.
Other book for it.
Okay, so what she did inside was like huge. Okay, let's see if we can find it.
It's easy to find.
Just a second. I'll show you because this is just another idea of what you can do inside. Now she needs to go back and add keywords too.
Yeah.
I will. Let me share my screen. Now, some keywords that she could do with this are going to be about gratitude, right? Things to be thankful for. Why do we give a high five? We do it to be thankful for different things. So this is her. I want to show you what the inside looks like. You need to go back and do the keywords on this for sure. Because then what we can do is gauge the difference in the keywords. How do they make a difference? Okay, so looking through this, hopefully it'll let you. Okay, No, it's not going to show us. Surprise me.
It's just like
it looks like this on every page.
One reason on each page, and it's like
big.
Because you're messy, or because you have a face. And then at the end, it has a scoreboard, and it's how many high fives you gave out and how many your friends got.
It's all big text on each page. It's just a silly book. And the thing is, if you go to Barnes & Noble and you look at humor books, you will see all kinds of books just like it. That's kind of where it's classified. Okay, let's go back to Barnes & Noble. There's a question. Let's see here. Okay, I will say, Michael, in regards to the cover creator, I agree. It is kind of frustrating. It's a little bit glitchy. It's we're gonna post some videos showing how you can use some other tools, but it is definitely even though it's glitchy, it's one of the easiest and quickest ways to get a cover up. So we'll talk about how you can kind of get through some of the glitches. Okay, so back over here to Barnes & Noble. There was something, this vintage floral kind of caught my eye. So if I go here and start typing in vintage floral, I don't know, there might not be enough demand. Boy, that was coming up. Well, 861 results. Yes, you can use Canva for the cover. That's what Halle's been working on. You can use Photoshop. That's what I usually use. I've never used Canva for a cover, but we can play around with that and do a video.
That's what I used for the high five book, actually.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so Vintage Floral Journal has 861 results. It passes that first R. I don't think it's going to pass. Could go either way, but there's some high ones there. Yeah, it's not enough demand for it. What if we take out vintage though? Classic is another word. Vintage butterfly, that's another cool. Floral journal. GIMP, okay, GIMP is a good one. Thank you for mentioning that, Wendy. GIMP is just like Photoshop, really. It's but it's open source, so it's free. It's very feature rich. It's like overkill for what you're going to be using it for. But if you are understand Photoshop at all, or you want something a little bit heavier and with more options than something like Canva, you have more control. GIMP might be an option for you. Some of the titles and the listings are really long. I think it's the title and the subtitles combined for the listing. I really wouldn't recommend it. Amazon does not like keyword stuffing in the titles and keywords. I mean, in the titles and subtitles. You can try it, but I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not getting that's weird. Okay, botanical, I saw that too. Canva is a lot of fun, and you can use some of the images there that are free. You can use them for your covers for free. And there is a free version. You can pay for covers and rights or images as well if you find something more. Okay, floral journal is way too many results. So what kinds of floral journals? Clearly vintage was not one, but what if we did, I liked the botanical. I'm gonna go a different route. Adventure. We could do adventure, but let's try yellow and pick a color. Maybe flower. I kind of think this isn't gonna work either. 764 results for yellow flower journal, or just use flower. Maybe I'll try that. So it passes the first R, and then we want to see if it passes the others. So another thing you can think about is activities, okay? So if you brainstormed out activities like Halle had said, adventure journal. So if you did adventure, rock climbing, what are some activities? Driving. So this one's, yeah, again, it's not enough demand. Let me try taking out yellow and just doing flower. I think it's going to be too, you kind of spend a little bit of time looking for this sweet spot, right? So flower journal, I think it's going to be too many results. So if you look at different activities, brainstorm that out a little bit. We could start a thread in the Facebook group of just like post some activities. And why isn't that coming? Here we go. And then start looking for journals around those activities. Traveling, road trip journal, rock climbing. Can you think of anything? We were talking earlier, like a trip to the zoo. You know, look for different activities. Okay, flower journal for women. Flower journal and planner. This is. So here we go, less than 3,000 results. Average sales rank, looks like it's gonna pass. Just looking at these. Yep. Nice, 9 out of 10 and less than 1 million. So we're good on that. Okay. All right, let's, somebody had said it, you wanna move into some of those? So these, what I call are, when we have a place where we're starting in the search bar, I call them prompts. Okay, so some ideas for prompts. What were some places to start?
There is 365
days in a year, so we can do 365 day journal. Well, yeah. Did you see a different one?
Days of Wonder. I don't know.
That might be a brand. You need to talk louder. Okay, 365 day journal. So we've got, it passes the first R. This is a really good time to get these yearly journals up. I think this will pass. Look at the rank, they're all kind of low. This might be a good one. Yep, so what was the other one's flower? What's this one? 365 daily. I don't remember. Day, 365 day journal. Let's look at the interiors on some of these. 365 journal, blank journal with page per day of the year. Okay. It's a pretty easy cover there. Do you think this is CreateSpace or KDP?
Probably.
$13.49 is their price point. Nope. Independently published. Doesn't matter. Okay, but we wanted to see what the inside looked like. It's blank. This would have 365 pages, yes. This book belongs to oh, look at that. So I'm like, oh, all the pages really are blank. So they're independently published, so it could be blank.
They have numbers.
But they have these numbers that are grayed out. That's all they have on the pages, guys. 3, 4, okay. How easy is that? So this particular one is black. Well, let's go up here. Maybe test out something similar, right? Here's lined. I was seeing if there was a colored one. You could do one for couples, and you could have like his and hers or something like that on each page opposite each other. Here's another 365-day journal. This one doesn't have any sales. It might have sales, it doesn't have any reviews. Let's look and see. I'm just curious. This is a Create Space one. 368 pages because it probably has a title page, and there's no, it's still loading. You can hear my computer working hard. Copyrighted material is because whatever your, that doesn't mean you can't, okay, wait, let me read the whole thing here. 365 pages, right? That's going to be a thick book. It will be a thick book. It will be a thick book. Because I remember Lisa's, I don't have one that's that big, but, well, how many pages is this one? This isn't Create Space. That's 263. So this book here is 263.
No.
Yeah. Take mine. Okay, this is not a Create Space, but just to give you an idea. Yeah, Lisa shared her doodle book that she did. It's 8.5 by 11. It's a doodle a day, 365 doodles. And it's thicker than this. So another 100, this is like 2/3 of the, so that, yep, that'd be a thick book. But people are, there's a market for it. Let's see here. What does that mean when your title is highlighted in yellow? Oh, it's just saying in Jungle Scout, that's part of the extra extension that I shared, the pass fail. Whatever my search term is, it highlights that in yellow in the title that shows up on the listing. Copyrighted material is, yes, that's copyrighted, but honestly, you could use a different font, it's just a number. It's not like, I mean, when you put the lines up, you have to say that you created that. It's your material. But Wendy, you could have lined pages and I could have lined pages. They're both copyrighted, but we're not infringing on each other's copyright because it's just lined pages. How does the pricing work out? More pages, more fees? Yes. Is there a price list of fees on KDP to know our figures? When we get to the point where right before we publish, we set the price. So at that point, we have all of our, there's a lot of things that go into consideration for the price. The size of the book, not just the number of pages, but the size, 6 by 9, 8.5 by 11. And also the whether the pages inside are colored or black and white, that affects your price point as well. So for 100 pages, 6 by 9 white pages that were black and white, it was the minimum price you could sell it for was $3.58. Okay, so you could sell it for $10, make $6.50 or so. You could sell it for $15. Play around with it, but Amazon will tell you. And then what happens is you don't pay that money, but when one sells, Amazon takes $3.58, and anything over that they send you. So there's no out-of-pocket costs. Okay, I was wondering about that, the independently published. Thank you, Michelle. So I'm curious because it did say Create Space, and I know Create Space is now coming underneath KDP's umbrella. So those books might have been published before, and now under KDP it says independently published. Thanks for confirming that. But use larger pages if you do 365. I don't know. Test. Doesn't cost you anything. Do both, right? See what sells. Okay, is there a difference between a journal, diary, and a notebook? What do you think? Speak up.
Well, not really. I don't think there's not really much of a difference. I mean, you could use notebook. So if you have like a cooking notebook, I don't know, you write down whatever you cook.
Right, something you take notes in.
Yeah.
So the purpose might be different, what it's used for, but the book actually looks the same. I think that
it's pretty much the same thing. It just depends on what it is, I guess.
What your market is, maybe.
Yeah.
Or so like men, I think would rather have a log or a diary. I don't know, maybe not a diary, but a log or a notebook, maybe a journal. I don't know. Think about your audience. What would they like? What would they call it? But ultimately, I think they're pretty much the same. Okay, I think we're good with questions. So this one, let's look at the inside here. That's the back. Oh no, So day 1, bunch of lines. Day 2, bunch of lines. Day 3, bunch of lines. Day 4. You guys getting that picture? Okay. Okay, so we did 365-day journal. That passed. Do you want to do another one? What's another time type of any ideas?
30 days.
30 days, something or other. So these are prompts.
30 days around the world.
Around the world.
Journal.
Go around the world in 30 days. Come on. Here we go. 30-day. There's some cookbooks. 30-day journal challenge, 30-day journal, 30-day journey, 30-day jump start. So you could kind of come up with a prompt thing. Now remember, we're just doing lines for what we're going to give you with the templates for these first 10 books. But you guys might want to take note of some of these prompts that we're using. You could do colors. We've done 365. We're doing 30-day. I think we did daily before. There was even just journal, tracker, log. Okay. All of those are prompts. They're good places to start. So 30-day would be monthly. You might create your own replenishable in a way where people are coming back and buying over and over from you. Let's see here. So it passes that first R. Okay, I see a couple questions. Do you think there's an ideal page count for a lined journal? It depends on the market. And so that's where you just test it. It doesn't cost you anything. And honestly, putting different, doing 30-day, 90-day, you could do them all with the same cover and they're just called something, well, your title would be different on the cover. You just test it. Now, honestly, this is a very difficult mind shift for people, especially if you're already an Amazon seller. Remember, you do not have to pay out-of-pocket costs for this. So if you don't know which one's better, test it. Test it for your market. Do both. Do all three. Do, whatever, and see what sticks. That's valuable information. You'll learn what doesn't work as well as what does work, and it costs you hardly anything to get that valuable data, okay? All right, so this one, look at this. So it passes average rank, and there's 9 out of 10 that are less than 50 reviews. So 30-day journal, that's crazy. 30-day journal. So now you can see all of these are different. So people, like I said before, they really do judge a book by its cover. So come up with some different ideas here. You might want to look and see at some sales data, which ones might be selling more. What colors are they using? This one is about emotions, but it's, okay, so this one is selling $1,500 a month in revenue. 30 Days to Joy, a creative journal, gratefulness. Okay, so get some ideas there, how to simplify your life. But the 30-day journal, that's crazy, is a good key phrase. Okay, should we talk? I don't want to go too far into the weeds on other topics, but should we talk about cookbooks at all, or should we wait till Friday? I'll let you guys decide on that one. So you could just keep going through here and look for more. Enjoy the Journey. It's a 2-year, that's a planner. These are the best sellers on Barnes & Noble that we're looking at for inspiration. We did a search on journals. Let's go back to, to the fiction, nonfiction. Okay. Nonfiction. Okay, we're gonna go to cookbooks. So if we did cookbooks, food and wine here. here's how I did it. And I've done with the springform pan and whatnot, what I suggest. Well, there's a couple ways. Okay, we can look at bestsellers to get some inspiration. As soon as this works. Give me the, can you hear my computer?
Yeah.
Okay, clean eating. What I want to do is I'm looking for prompts that are related to bestseller cookbooks. So clean, we've talked a little bit about keto, quick and easy. Instant loss, that's funny. For the Instant Pot, things like that, is taking advantage of piggybacking kind of on a trend. Whole Foods. Okay, and then you could get into things that are like ethnic foods. So you could do like an Asian, like a wok, cooking in a wok with a wok, a stir fry.
Springform pans.
Baking. Which, okay, so here's the thing. So let's go into Amazon and start looking at some of these. Okay. If we did, should we start with clean? Clean, cooking, just kind of start looking. Okay, I'm looking for clean cooking cookbook. I saw it. Where was it? Right there, number 1. Okay, clean cooking cookbook, 7,000 results. It's too much, too many there. So we need to get more descriptive. So we can guess, but we want Amazon to tell us. And do me a favor and get a Sharpie. Do I have one in here? I might. Yeah. And put a line on there. And then I think I have a highlighter. Do a highlighter. And
so the cream paper and the white paper.
Okay, do one on both.
Or maybe not.
Do it on the last page of this one though. So we're gonna do a little test for you and we'll show you how things bleed. Okay, so clean cooking recipes, it's too many results. We want to get more descriptive to try to get that number down. So we could guess, but we're gonna let Amazon tell us by putting our cursor up here and hit the search bar. We're not seeing any other things to add to it. One of the things that I love this extra extension, but sometimes I feel like it keeps me from being able to add things to the front. Let's, what if we did like, oh, did you see what came up? Oh, I would just do a single line and do it again with just a, yeah, but, oh, I see.
Single lines.
Okay.
Double.
Sounded like you were just pushing real hard, but you were. Just do like, well, yeah, there you go. Okay. Clean cooking meals. Now Valentine's Day is coming up. You might want to do like recipes for 2 or something. Look in that line. Again, we're still at 7,000. Hold on, I'll stop my share so they can see. Yeah. So one of the things that we talked about was markers might bleed a little bit. They're not thick watercolor papers. Okay. I'll stop my share so Halle can show you. She just did a test on the cream.
This is the other side of it. I drew on this side.
So the one's permanent marker, the other one is highlighter. Okay, it does bleed. However, gel pens, that was something I think Carolyn had said that she sells with her coloring books, adult coloring books. She'll bundle with a set of gel pens. Those don't bleed. So yeah, I mean, they're not art, it's not art pages. So okay, let's go back real quick because I wanted to talk about this. I want to find a cookbook that's a good one. This one seems to be hard to find something descriptive. What? Well, what if we did recipes for, let's go that route. Recipes for adventure, Halle. Recipes for 2. Well, let's try this. Okay. Whoa, lots of results, way too competitive. So let's see what we can do to, maybe adventure is the better one. Wow, this is slow. Crock pot recipes for 2. Instant pot recipes for 2. Is that going to work? Instant pot recipes for 2. Okay, now we're down to under 3,000. Let's run Jungle Scout. And then I'm going to show you what we do to get the content. Let me say this though, guys. It's easy to go to a recipe book, to have a journal. It's a little bit harder to think through prompt, like a prompt kind of a journal thing. One thing I like to, another place I like to go, if it's not at Barnes and Noble or something like that, is to go to Pinterest and look around and see what people are looking for there. And like maybe there's a do-it-yourself decorating kind of a thing, and get some inspiration for, well, what kind? Maybe it's a minimalist type, maybe there's decluttering, you know, and start gathering information, ideas. What are people looking for? Look for words. I use that for inspiration too. So this phrase does pass. Here's a really good example of this private label extension showing a fail. Oh, it doesn't pass. I'm sorry. There's not enough reviews. It's not a good example of what I was going to say. Okay, so it has, the rank is under 1 million. The reviews, we don't have, there's only 2. So that means it's too competitive. So we could get more descriptive. I don't know if there's anything we could do with that one. Cookbook. That might work. So we still are under 3,000. Clean cooking, I think, is more like using like fresh vegetables. It's not processed food. No, we're still going to be too competitive. I added cookbook to it, so it was like instant pot cooking for 2 cookbook or something. What's interesting is that this one has even less reviews.
Should do adventure.
Okay, she keeps saying adventure. Let's try that. Recipes for adventure.
Either there'll be really weird recipes, or there'll be easy ones you can bring camping.
That's what I'm thinking. They're like camping. Okay, nice results. Right, cooking, clean cooking is for clean eating. So it's like foods that are not processed. Don't have, they're organic. Okay, passes results, recipes for adventure. Should have listened to you at the beginning. You could have a whole series on that, recipes for adventure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You think I think it's gonna pass? Jeopardy music. Look at that. You're so smart. So we've got average sales rank is less than 1 million, and we have 8 out of 10 reviews are under 50. So recipes for adventure passes are 3 R's. Okay, so all right, let's say I want to do camping recipes. Okay, we're totally doing this on the fly, guys. Let's say we want to do something, what, I don't know what kind of adventure. I mean, we camp sometimes. You know, we like to use our cast iron, and we've made bread outside in a pit with a cast iron Dutch oven and stuff like that. So there's some things we could probably come up with on our own, but I want to make this really easy. I'm going to tell you about something, and this is really kind of more advanced. I've talked about it in the bundling group if you're in there. I've talked about it in the private label group if you're in there. But there is something called PLR, okay, and it stands for private label rights, and it is content that you can buy and claim authorship on. You buy the license to claim authorship on that content. Now here's the thing, when you are doing KDP or Kindle for an ebook, you cannot, they say, you cannot use PLR because you cannot, they don't say that. They say you cannot use content that's easily and readily available online in other places, okay? So you can use PLR, but you've got to really mix it up. You can't just copy it word for word. And honestly, a lot of PLR is complete junk. So you can take PLR, buy it, change it up. You could buy, I'll show you what it is in a little bit more detail, but basically it's usually an article pack. This is how I find it. If you go to Google and you type in, so we're looking for, should we do camping recipes?
Sure.
I'm not sure what we'd get for adventure. So you type in camping recipes and then just do PLR. So we have 123,000 results. I have not done this before. You want me to talk about that more?
Well, it's basically what you described.
No, I think you got those off of.
But I changed them.
Right. Okay. So, whoop, this isn't good. Let's not do that. Let's try this again. Camping recipes PLR. We'll do a different one. I know the PLR star, I've used that. Okay. So usually this comes out in like packs, article packs of like 5 recipes or 10 recipes. Okay. Quick and easy PLR recipes, PLR articles. This does not necessarily mean that they're camping, but for $3.99, just to give you an idea, you can get 25 recipes. There's some quick, painless camping recipes. Does that mean there's 616 in this pack? 25 quality articles. These are not recipes, but articles about recipes and cooking. Okay. That might be words. I think that's words. So these are all your articles that they give you. These are not recipes. Although it says they're quick and easy pasta recipes. For $3.99, you can get all of these articles, is my point. These are the titles of the articles. So we have a pasta meal in a flesh, probably supposed to say in a flash. Real good quality.
Pasta.
That's gross.
That's not worse.
Ew, eating your tofu, quick and easy. Okay, so, okay, there's a whole workshop that I need to do, and I did a couple years ago on PLR and what you're looking for, because there really is a lot of junk out there. But for $3.99, you could get this and change it up and make it your own. What I would do, a couple things if you're looking for recipes, is find one that actually has the recipes. You just kind of poke around on Google like I did, okay? We could look a little bit more. And you're looking for a few things that will help you know whether or not it's good PLR, quality PLR. One is, are they limiting their distribution? Okay, so you really do want to find something that maybe is limited to, 100, probably no more than 500 sales. Then they cut it off. They don't offer it anymore. You don't want unlimited distribution. The other thing is you want to look at the license and see what you can really use it for. The whole idea of PLR is that you are buying the rights to change it and to claim authorship on it. The other thing you can do with recipes, you can go and find recipes, and let me tell you something, you can change them. If you know, I like to bake and cook with this one, that's what we did. We got recipes and then we went through and changed them. So instead of 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, maybe we changed it to 1/2 teaspoon. So I wouldn't do that with salt. Like there's certain things that you don't necessarily, you don't do, or maybe you add an ingredient, but you really got to kind of know what you're doing with that. We felt comfortable with this because we cook enough. So that's what we did to change it. Because once you've changed it, it's a totally different recipe. I know you can Google, I've heard different things about how you can use recipes and whether it's copyrighted. Is it the ingredients or is it the actual way that it's cooked? You can rewrite the instructions so that it's written how in your own voice, it's a different recipe. So do a little research on that or find some PLR. So this looks like it's an article that you can just take. I don't know. Camping one, we're having a hard time. We're not really looking seriously. We're just kind of poking around, but there were 123. I spend 10 minutes looking. You'll find some PLR that are actually recipes that you can do. Camping, cooking recipes. They're cheap. It's cheap. So this bundle is $10. Okay. That's what I would do for content that's written. And I would probably get 3 different packs and then mix and match and rewrite it in my own voice or hire somebody else to do that for you. That's kind of the route that I would go for finding the interior content. The other thing you can do with a cookbook is make something that you would fill in, right? So maybe it's a family recipe book that you're selling, but it's, you know, whose recipe was this? I don't know. So maybe it's your great grandmother's recipe. You have it be prompts for people to fill in so that they can put all of their little cards, recipe cards in one book and rewrite that. I agree with Wendy. Make sure you organize them. That's what we did with this. So we have, there's a TOC in here. So there's cheesecakes, ice cream cakes, flourless chocolate cakes, coffee cakes, fruit tarts, pizzas, and 7-layer dips. Those were the 7 sections we have in this book. And believe it or not, there were at least 3 recipes for each of those categories that we put in there. So yes, definitely organize them. You do not, I want to say, you don't need pictures. Some of my favorite cookbooks that I like to cook from don't have photographs in them. They have like drawings of just like sketches of things that are like clip art almost. So you don't think you have to have high quality photos. You can, and you can test that out, but you don't have to. Yes, good comment there. You can change the serving numbers, so make it so that it, you know, is double the recipe. Some recipe, okay, so I did this in the bundling group. We were talking about holiday recipes, like for holiday entertaining. And one of the PLR packs that we found came with photographs and all kinds of stuff. So that was kind of cool. But you can't use it just as it is in the KDP. You'll get it removed because the content cannot be readily available for people on the online. Oh, one other thing, let me share again. Okay, this is my secret. Nicole Dean, who is amazing, has this site called Easy PLR. If you want to learn more about PLR, she goes so deep and provides so much. Okay, everything is just $5 right now. She looks for trends, so she's doing some research on it, and she limits her distribution. And it's a higher quality PLR. Lakeside Lunches, it's an article pack. Now you cannot use that as it is, but you can use it for, you know, change up the recipes, maybe put it with theme picnics, do both of those together and change it up a little bit. So she has some great stuff, and she just has great quality, and she changes it out. So she'll close things off once they've reached their limit. I forget where she stops on them. So here, like this one, she has 75, 150. It just depends. But easyplr.com is a really great resource for PLR. And if you don't see something that you're looking for, I would reach out to her because I think she has ghostwriters that maybe she can point you to. Can you use the photos or not? I'm not sure. You cannot use other people's photos without permission. So if you're getting a recipe with a photo, you need to get permission to use that. You can buy PLR that has, it has photographs with it. You can find that. You can make it and photograph it yourself if you want to.
Go to free images.
And find something similar. I mean, like, would you do that?
I mean, if it's like the same thing.
Like a cheesecake looks kind of the same.
Yeah. Or, you know, or a blueberry muffin.
Okay, so I'm going to put this in here, easyplr.com, and then a few places for images, freeimages.com, pixabay.com. I like to get them right off of Canva, PicMonkey. Those are all resources. Just read the license. I think you could use the photos in the PLR pack if you change the recipe even. It depends on how much you change it. Does the photo still look like, is it still gonna go with that recipe? Yeah, I think you could probably do that. I'd probably, what I would do is not just buy one PLR pack with photos and only use that and only change those recipes, but use those photos. I'd probably buy 2 or 3 and use a mix of all of them in a book rather than it being just one set of photos from one set of PLR. Does that make sense? They just really crack down on that and don't want you to use content that's widely available. So for example, like even my book, The Haywire Christmas, that's weird because we're watching that. Haywire Christmas, this book. So this came out of a blog. I have a blog that I haven't written in for a while, but it's called nolongerashes.com. And about 5.5 years ago, my husband lost his job, and I just really felt like I needed to journal that journey and share it with whoever, I don't know. So I started blogging about it. And from that came this book. So these are actually blog posts. But what I did was, because I couldn't have the content online because Amazon doesn't like that, I left on my blog for the posts that I pulled into the book. I didn't use all the posts, obviously, but for the ones that I did, I had like the first paragraph, and then I said, to read the rest of this, go get the book, and linked to the book on Amazon. So I had to do that because Amazon doesn't want the content to be available in other places online. Okay. All right. I think we've gone 1.5 hours. Any other quick questions? And we'll call it a night. Hopefully this was helpful. There is so much depth with KDP and the directions you can go. There's a lot of different strategy. And what I don't want to do is overwhelm you guys with all the opportunity that's there. I really want, the whole point of this 10 books in 10 days is to get you through the process, get you to take action, don't get you caught in the weeds, but to get to a point where you have the process under your belt so that now, let's get these journals done, and then next time let's do a cookbook, because that's a little bit more involved. Because when you're learning so much at once, sometimes it's easy to shut down, and we want you to be real successful with doing this. So thanks, Kathy. I do, you know what I did? I just put the copyright. Well, that's interesting. I just have a copyright for the book is copyrighted. I haven't done any process. So if you put that you have it copyrighted, that.
Yeah, just a little text at the bottom that says copyright.
That covers you mostly. I'm just not too worried about that. I think I spent a long time trying to, worrying about people copying my stuff. And I know people do, and whether I copyright it or not, they're going to. I'm not going to go chase people down. It's just not worth it. So I know I noticed that too. Let's do it. Nothing. Okay, so anyway, it's all, you just put the little C in the beginning. There's a little spot, and that's in the template of just copyrighted there, that it's copyrighted. When you write something and claim authorship on it, you have the copyright. I did post, I think I posted about copyrights, a resource for that in the underneath resources. So yeah, Weed Whacker, I hear you. I'm sorry. I hope we didn't go too deep into the weeds with all of this, but I know we have a really broad spectrum of people taking this class, and some of you guys are wanting to go deeper and you're ready to go deeper, and others are just have not sold on Amazon before and it's all brand new. So I want to really provide something for everybody. Know that tomorrow, do you remember what the homework is? You posted it, right?
I do not remember what it is.
Okay, today's homework due tomorrow is to get books 1 through 5 posted, not posted, but get the paperback details done, that first tab in KDP for your first 5 books, okay? Tomorrow, we are not gonna be posting new content at noon, there will be a homework assignment to get the second 5 books done. So by Friday, you should have all 10 books, that first tab done, so they should be in process and saved for the details. And then on Friday, we will go through your interior pages, and we have templates to give you, and I will also get on, I'll either pre-record it, I might have a call during the time, so I might pre-record it, how to make your own lined pages on Word, and some different variations that you can do to make a larger size, like gaps between the lines. You can do grayscale so that it's not like these bold black lines. We'll do all of that on Friday. We're also going to give you a PDF 100-page book, interior pages. You can literally take that PDF and just upload it. You don't have to create any interior pages on your own. You can just take that, what we give you on Friday, and upload it. That'll come on Friday. Saturday, we're going to be digging into the cover creator, which can be extremely frustrating for people, especially if you have like an eye for design. It can drive you nuts, right?
Yeah.
But it is a necessary evil, I guess. They do have a program in there that makes it very easy, and that's what we're going to show you. We will also have some pre-recorded video. I don't think we're going to go live with it. I'll do Photoshop, maybe you can do Canva, and we will post those as well this weekend, okay? So I promise you guys we will get through the whole process. Just trust us with the one little piece at a time right now. Get books 1 through 5, those product details, get your title and your keywords description, get those saved before tomorrow, okay? I think we're done, 7:45, we're gonna go eat dinner. You guys have a great night, and we'll be in the group, so post questions. We're happy to help. Talk to you later.